Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar today, where we'll be featuring an update on the National Concrete Masonry Outreach Program with the Concrete Masonry Checkoff. We are joined today by a few individuals, Robert Melgard, Ryan Shaver, Connor Birdsong, and Jason McCoy. And if you have any questions during the webinar today, you will not be able to unmute your line as we are in a webinar format. So please be sure to note them in the Q&A section, and we will address them at the end of the presentation. So Robert, I'll hand it over to you for introductions.
Thank you, Erin, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's my honor and pleasure to be co-presenting today with Mr. Ryan Shaver, and we're excited to share about some of the exciting things that we're doing in concrete masonry outreach and education. Just a quick introduction between the two of us, just so you get a feel for who we are and where we're coming from. I'm Robert Melgard. I'm a fourth generation brick mason. Spent 20 years in correctional education, first as a masonry instructor within the prison systems of Florida. And then a couple of promotions through there I was a regional coordinator overseeing multiple CTE programs, and then a statewide director for CTE programs for the Florida Department of Corrections. In the middle of that, I also taught an apprenticeship program in Tallahassee at Tallahassee State College for 3 or 4 years. And was appointed to the Florida Concrete Masonry Education Council back in 2022 by Governor DeSantis. Ryan?
Thank you, Robert. So I'm Ryan Shaver. I'm the current vice president of the North Carolina Masonry Contractors Association. I took a class in high school in 1989 called Masonry, and it got me hooked, and I've been in it ever since. So I've been on the wall for 20 years, and then ran work, then went back to teaching, and now have been with the association since 2018. So seen it from all sides and still love it dearly. So that's who I am. And at the end of the day, I'm just an old Mason. So back to you, Robert.
Thanks, Ryan. Just a brief overview of what our initiatives are and what we're going to talk about here today. Our main goal is to educate and inspire high school students to pursue careers in masonry in the industry, also to equip educators with the resources they need to present career opportunities to students about the industry. A big key component to our success will be the ability to recruit and retain masonry instructors. Without masonry instructors, you don't have a program. So you can have all the interest in the world from the kids, but if you don't have an instructor, you don't have much to work with there. So that's a real strong focus of what we're doing in our day-to-day activities, trying to highlight the need for that. We want to maintain a strong presence at career fairs and showcase events. Earlier today with Connor and I were out setting up for one that's going to happen here in Florida over the next couple of days. So we try to go and attend in person when we can. And I know Ryan, he's always on the road. So if you know Ryan, if you talk to him, he's probably in the car on the way to another event he has going to get set up or coordinate. So we're trying to replicate what they've been doing over in North Carolina across the country, because they have proven their model to be the most successful, and something that we want to try to replicate in all parts of the country. On the MCAA side, we're also developing a wall builder and evaluator program, and Connor's going to talk about a little bit more about that in a few slides down the road here. Part of our 5-year KPIs through the Checkoff program, we want to reach 385,000 students. That sounds like a lot, and that is a lot, especially seeing how we're a very, very small team. But I think we're going to be able to gain momentum as we bring team members on. We're going to get out to these events, and then each event could have several thousand kids rolling through there. So it is a cumulative goal, but something we feel like we can reach. And if we can just get 1% of those students that we talk to about masonry to join the industry, we'll be in a much better place than we currently are now. Another one of our goals is to increase the utilization of the NCCER curriculum in masonry. We're going to talk about some updates that have gone on in the newest edition that has been released this year. We're really excited about it. So a lot of states already use NCCER, that's the National Center for Construction Education and Research, as their curriculum for a lot of construction trades. And we're really proud of the work that Ryan and his team of subject matter experts put in to get the newest edition out to the public. So within that, we're going to have over 420 outreach events that we're going to attend over the next 5 years. And then at the end of the 5 years, we hope to be 100% self-sustaining. So we're using the Checkoff funds to get established, to get our initiatives rolling. And then we're going to be talking about some alternative funding sources that we're seeking as well. So by the end of 5 years, hopefully we can be self-sustaining, and all these dollars that are coming into the checkoff can be used for some other programs and some other ideas going forward. Would want to introduce you to Connor and Jason. They're on our team here at the MCAA, and they're regional directors. Connor's the regional director for down in the Southeast, and then Jason's in the Midwest. So I'm going to turn it over to Connor to do a little brief introduction and tell you a little bit about himself.
Thanks, Robert. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Connor Birdsong. My background also comes from corrections, with about 8 years in career and technical education, programming with contract management, coordination, and also working with foundations to implement new programs. I'm happy to be here in Region 2. I'm looking forward to continuing our efforts that we've already outlined just above, with outreach events and establishing new programs, training teachers. And with that, I'll go ahead and kick it over to Jason for a brief introduction.
Thank you, Connor. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason McCoy. I am the Region 3 Director of Outreach and Education for Youth for the MCAA. I am a semi-retired 40-year veteran in the masonry industry, and I'm happy to be teaching now.
Thanks, Jason. So as you can see, we're a small team at the MCAA in Outreach and Education. We only have the 2 regional directors. Eventually, we're going to add the other 3 year by year. So hopefully in January, we'll have the 3rd team member on board. But until then, it's the 3 of us. And then also Ryan. Ryan's always a phone call away to help us out. So the stuff he has going on has been super helpful. He really has the playbook, and the playbook we're following to try to replicate in other parts of the country, like I mentioned earlier. But for now, if you're in another part of the country and you don't have a regional director yet, you just can reach out to the 3 of us. We're happy to help. Ultimately, it falls on me to be that person, but our team, we cross all regions, and there's no lines that say I can't go past Mississippi or I can't go past South Dakota. We're all team players here. Ryan's done all this work himself for years and years nationally, so to even have 3 more people doing it I'm sure it's a load off of his back, but we're happy to help, happy to be of assistance, and we're out and about quite a bit. If you give us enough time, we can make your virtual meetings, we can make some of your in-person meetings, and we're just happy to spread the word of what we're trying to do and establishing more training programs, masonry training programs across the country. So please don't hesitate to reach out. At the end of the webinar, we will share our contact information. We did briefly hit on the updated curriculum from the NCCER, and I'll let Ryan talk about it, since Ryan really led the effort of recruiting the subject matter experts that reviewed the books, the previous editions. And when I say they went through it page by page, they went through every single word of the textbook, of the quizzes, of the exams. They reviewed every picture and had pictures changed out to make it more relevant. And I know I'm really excited about the curriculum. I know Ryan is too. So with that said, Ryan, I'll let you take it from here.
Thank you, Robert. So as Robert said, we've got the new masonry curriculum out in the market now. Pearson released it over the summer. We started that rewrite way back in actually January, the first week of January 2024. I got a team of subject matter experts from all 5 regions. So if you see mistakes in the book, blame somebody like Heath Holdaway out in Utah. So I can give you all their names where you can call and complain to them. But what I'm trying to tell you is it was a team of rock stars from across the country. They all flew in on their own dime, spent a week together down in Florida at Alachua at the NCCR headquarters, and we started this rewrite. So each person was assigned a module in each segment, and then we went through that module and just broke it apart. So it was a very, very good team effort, and we built a group of subject matter experts that I would put up against anybody in the country by doing so. And we also were able to work together. I learned some different things. I learned what a psychometrician is. I never knew what that is, but I learned that. So I got to learn a lot of new things in the rewrite, and all of our team really worked good together. The one thing that we wanted to do was remove the prerequisite of core and sustainable construction before they could enter into the masonry pathway. at the secondary level. We were able to absorb some of the core into level one and then take some of the core out that was redundant or transposed twice in the Masonry 1 book. So now we have Masonry 1 and 2 available on the market. And level three, we will try to get that released in the spring of 26. We're currently in the middle of that rewrite. Been on a couple emails this morning trying to get some things nailed down on timing. So it's going to be great. Looking forward to getting that pushed out to a lot of our states across the country, and making it really matter in the programs across the country as well. So one initiative that we've been building with the new curriculum rewrite, and Robert and I were on an email earlier in the week, is we would like to start building some resources for our instructors, and you'll hear more about that. But this will help through this new rewrite and the things that we are going to make available and be able to do for our instructors that are there and our possible new instructors that we want to recruit and get in the trade, teaching the trade. So that being said, I'm excited about the new rewrite on the curriculum. It was a lot of work, but it was well worth it. So sometimes, the passion that everybody brings to the table for the industry, and then the commitment for them to do this free of charge, I will add, on their time, on their dime, was unbelievable. And so I'll always go to bat for those folks across the country that helped make this possible, and made this a reality, something that we had thought about all the way back at the MCAA mid-year when it was in Memphis, Tennessee. We had our first meeting on the rewrite, and then by the time we got it done, was awesome. We went through this rewrite from January of 2024 and released it in printed form June of 2025, which, from what we've understood from Rewrite, Pearson, NCCR, that time frame never would can happen. It's usually a 2 to 3 year rewrite, and we got it done in just a hair over a year. So really excited for that. I want to share one other thing before I turn it back to Robert on the curriculum. In North Carolina, we introduced this curriculum this semester. My instructors have gave me a lot of positive feedback so far. What we did on the level one, level two, the level one, we split the book a little bit. So level one, they don't have to do the entire book. I think they do 6 or 7 modules, and that completes their level one pathway. Then when they start level two, they complete the rest of the modules in the level one book and move into the level two. And that gets them about 2 or 3 modules into level two. And then level three, they complete the level two book to be a completer in the pathway. So that has worked out really well. So basically your programs are level one, level two book, but they've broken up where you have 3 classes that can become a completer through that series of those 2 books. So that's been great. The level 3 book will be more concentrated, meaning it's going to have more specialty items in it. And that will be for a more advanced student that has been through level 1, level 2, to move them and get their skill set and knowledge more in depth with different specific items. So excited for that. So I'm going to turn it back to Robert.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan, and thank you for all the work you and your team put into this to make it so fantastic. It's really an outstanding textbook. It's the best. It should be the best, the latest edition, but I don't see any other trade advancing the way we've pushed in masonry on our side. So with NCCER, they do 40 plus, 50 plus different crafts. Masonry, and I'm proud to say, is the first one that's incorporated the core curriculum, that prerequisite that Ryan was talking about, into level one. So now instead of a student entering a masonry training program and having to do all this general safety and generalized training that's not really relevant to masonry, we're jumping right into masonry. All of the core and the safety is related to masonry related topics, PPE that they'll use on a masonry job site. And we're grabbing their interest on day one of that student. So we're not losing those students that say, I signed up for masonry. What am I over here doing? I'm nailing 2x4s together and sawing 2x4s. And we're talking about plumbing or HVAC. I want to be a brick mason. So we want to make sure that trowel gets in those students' hands right from the get-go. And then we retain those students so they not only start the program, but finish the program. Moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the work that our team back in Chicago at the MCAA has been working on with the wall builder, wall scanner combo, and some software and hardware we're putting together to incorporate into the classroom to make our instructors' jobs a little bit easier, but better use of their time, make their job less subjective. And I'm going to turn that over to Connor Birdsong. He's going to talk a little bit about it since he's our tech guru on the team and does all things that involve technology that us old folks are trying to grasp.
Thanks, Robert. Happy to talk about this technology we're introducing. What you see here on the screen is MCA Wallcraft. You may think that that sounds a little bit familiar, and that's because it is. It's a software that's very similar concept to Minecraft. So if you can imagine Minecraft, or if you have any experience in that, you know that you can put together different buildings and things like that. Well, this is very similar, where you can select the exact product you want to use, and you can design different projects. You can see here that you can have a simple interface, then you can pan and zoom. So this is a really awesome piece of technology designed to help instructors build projects. Of course, it has other applications beyond just the classroom, but that's what we are promoting, the classroom use of it. Instructors traditionally spend a lot of time and resources building out their student projects. Well, now with Wallcraft, that instructor is able to go in and very user-friendly, be able to build those types of projects. And you can see there on the bottom image onto the left side of the screen, you got your different types of materials you can select from. So we're really excited to introduce this, and this is just one example of some technology that we're bringing forward into the classrooms. And next, we'll talk about the 3D wall scanner. This is a video, and what you'll see on your screen here is me demonstrating the use of this handheld scanner at the Skills USA competition in Atlanta, Georgia. The lines you see that are going up and down this wall here is invisible to the naked eye. You don't see this. The only reason it's being picked up right now is because of the shutter lens. So a little bit about this. So this handheld scanner uses photons to capture millions of data points per scan. And what this does is renders a 3D image you can see in the laptop in the background there. That helps us to evaluate student projects. And the intent for this is to use in the classroom. This wall scanner helps, with removing subjectivity, right? So it's more of an objective evaluation of someone's project here. But a couple of other things too is that as a result of the images that it captures, we're able to make real-time and real precise 3D prints of these projects. And that's something exciting that we want to see too as students progress. What you see here is the updated wall scanner. So you might have saw in the previous iteration of the wall scanner, there was a lot of wires, right? I needed a person to hold the laptop. It took two persons to be able to operate this machinery. There was an extension cord ran. Well, now we have this fully mobile. So inside this backpack is my laptop, a battery backup, and all of the cords that are associated with that. So you can see I'm also wearing glasses. These are AR glasses that mirrors my laptop screen. So it's fully wireless, it's fully portable. And really the big push behind this type of technology is to move the assessments for student-based projects to more performance-based. Right. We know as an industry, the employers are wanting to know that the students can do this work with their hands, not what they know and questions they can answer on a test. So this 3D wall scanner will help them know that they are competent and ready to join the workforce. And we're excited to bring it into classrooms. In the next screen, in the next slide here, you'll see as a cost breakdown. I should note here that there is a new updated 3D scanner, the little handheld device that I'm holding throughout those photos and videos. So the new updated scanner is completely wireless. It transmits data wireless, and it has its own onboard battery, so there's no power supply needed. So once we're able to do some field tests with the new updated 3D scanner, we'll update this kit here. It's still affordable. I can tell you that there's only about a $200 difference between the first version and the newest updated version. But nonetheless, you can see that that'll knock out the battery pack and things like that. So we're really happy about it. And, that's some things that our president, Jeff Buckowitz, is introducing to the technology task force in Washington, D.C. is how we're revolutionizing technology within the trades, and masonry is leading that effort out of all of the trades. So what you see here is the wall scanner evaluation software. So taking you from scanning the wall, having it onto your computer, you upload that 3D wall scan file into this wall scanner evaluation software, and it automatically analyzes that project for you or for the instructor. You can see here there's a lot of things on the screen, but those are data points. It's measuring level, plumb, all of the things that the in-person judge would be judging or the instructor would be evaluating in person. We know that every individual is different and may grade or evaluate a project just slightly different. Well, this will take away from that. This will standardize it across the board. It'll also track student performance. But one thing I really want to emphasize here is that this is all automated, right? There is no evaluation needed to be done by the instructor. You just upload that file and you click analyze, and it's going to run all of those data points for you. So we're really excited about that. We're 99% of the way done with the evaluation project on that. So we're just fine tuning a couple of things. I can tell you plumb was the most hard, or was the hardest for the IT team to really put together and map out on this evaluation software, but they've done a great job. They field tested it. I've sent them my digital scans, and they got it to a point that we're really close to releasing it to the classrooms all across the country.
Yep, great job, Connor, with the overview and the explanation of that. As you can see, why I probably turned those slides over to Connor. It was pretty technical, but it sounds scary. It sounds advanced. It is advanced, but it is very user-friendly. We're going to provide a lot of hands-on training that goes along with those scanners and that software. It just seems very intimidating, but once you see it, and Ryan can probably attest to this, we brought it up to his North Carolina Mason instructors meeting over the summer. They jumped right in. They grabbed it. They were asking questions. At first, some of the guys were like, I don't need this. But when we showed them how it's going to make their daily lives in their classrooms easier, they were on board with it. What was the feedback you received, Ryan? You there, Ryan?
I lost you for a second. My screen froze. Try me again, Robert.
I said, what was the feedback from your instructors when we demoed that up in North Carolina over the summer?
Oh, they absolutely loved it. So we had a little challenge, and I had them grade the projects individually, and then we used the scanner to compare their data with what they graded. So that's what made it so much fun, because they actually got to see the data that was given to us versus what they graded and judged the project themselves. And look at that. So, and what I'm proud to say is all the block that were sent out there that day were absolutely perfect. Correct. The material we received was perfect material, just like on every job site across the country. We received perfect material, and it's our job to make it look perfect in the wall. That's our job as masons. So then we had a great time, enjoyed it. The instructors, like Robert said, bought in. I think they will really enjoy this evaluator, because it takes the subjective criteria of what they're looking at. So I can look at something way different than someone else. And I think it takes subjectivity out of the equation, where you can actually look and see the true data that's given on the wall that you're scanning, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, and a lot of the testing occurred at competitions, and we'll utilize a scanner at competitions. But I do want to mention that we're never going to take away the in-person judging part of that because it's a way for us to engage industry. Our contractors, they love coming out and being a part of the competitions, and giving them the opportunity to judge a student's wall is helpful. The main goal with this project is to get it into the classrooms to help with the evaluation piece of that, to take the subjectivity out of it, and to move to a more performance-based evaluation of our students. So if you're a judge and you're on here listening, we're not going to replace you by a machine. AI hadn't got there yet. We're still going to need you to come out and participate in our competitions going forward. Moving on, something Connor and I have been working on over the last couple of months, and happy to report that we're to a place where we're about to start our first pilot program with this, is something, a curriculum and a professional development that we've developed for non-masons who teach masonry or who teach construction technology programs or building trades programs in high school. So across the country, there's an awful lot of programs that teach the fundamentals of a lot of different trades all within one program called building construction technology or building trades construction, depending on where you're at in the country. What we've found is that when the instructors get to the masonry portion of this program, they're either skipping over it, not introducing it at all, or very briefly saying, read these modules and take the written test and we're going to move on. We don't like that. We want to get a trial in the hands of the students. And so we've developed this program specifically for those instructors who do not have a masonry background to be able to become comfortable and competent in teaching the masonry portion of that program. That program happens to be, the masonry portion happens to be the biggest part of that building construction technology program. 60 hours worth of training is involved in that. So we definitely don't want them skipping over it. And so we've developed this to bring those guys up to speed, to make them feel more comfortable in introducing masonry. And it's a hybrid type program, and it's a very entry level program. It's not for a mason. If a mason's teaching a class, he's already going to know all these things we're teaching. We just want to make sure that they're comfortable with the masonry terminology, the tools, the safety equipment. So we developed this little program, and it's there's a little prerequisite work that goes along with it, which is completely outlined in the program, including everything you would need to set it up, is the tool list, the outline, the syllabus. So they do a little reading, getting familiar with the terminology. We'll come in and provide 3.5 days of in-person, hands-on training in a partnership with a local mason contractor in that area to give hands-on demonstrations, to let them work together as a team and build walls, to judge each other's walls, and just come together and learn a little bit about masonry so they can take it back to their classroom. It also comes with a resource kit and all the things they need as far as lesson plans go. The MCAA is fully committed to making sure we provide professional development and ongoing training to make sure that masonry is included in these programs. We've introduced this to several folks at several masonry associations across the country, and they've all been like exactly what we need. We're getting a lot of positive feedback. Well, we're going to do our first pilot program with a handful of instructors up in Virginia, but Ohio, Florida, Texas, a lot of places have reached out and said they want to be on the list too. So if you're interested in this, if you know of programs that are teaching masonry or supposed to be teaching masonry and maybe they're not, this is the way we're going to introduce that. And we're going to utilize this as our foot in the door. So we feel like if the kids is introduced to masonry, and a lot of kids are going to fall in love with it, working with their hands, building things, that it may be our one step closer to introducing standalone masonry programs within these high schools and training centers. So that's the ultimate goal. We are going to give a certificate to those instructors who complete it, an MCAA endorsed certificate that says you've been through this introductory training of masonry foundations. And then we're going to follow up for feedback with those instructors that have gone through it, as well as the administrators in those schools, to see how that's turning out for them. Moving on, we were just up here a couple of weeks ago with Ryan. I'm going to let Ryan talk about his event, which was awesome. This is a North Carolina Masonry Education Day.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. So this was our 9th annual Masonry Ed Day. It has grown, as you will see in the next couple of slides. I'll give you a little background on how I thought about this day. So 9 years ago, I had a bright idea that I taught masonry. I was in masonry. I've installed masonry. I've seen it on all ways, but I saw the disconnect between industry and the students, and how can I connect the industry and students and bring both together in one day setting, and expose the students to what we are truly as an industry instead of a PowerPoint or slideshow that someone would stop into school and show them pictures and talk. And so I thought, let's do a hands-on day. So my first event that we had, I had 165 masonry students on site. I was stoked. I mean, I thought, man, we have whooped the world here. This is unbelievable. We had hands-on. We had a couple of our mason contractors cook barbecue chicken that year. It was just unbelievable. I had probably 5, 6 vendors set up. We did a couple stations where they could do hands-on with laying brick and block. Man, it was stoked. Fast forward 9 years, this thing has grown into probably one of the largest outreach events that we do anywhere in the nation. And this past year, I had over 700 masonry students. When I say students, I used the word masonry before because they're enrolled in a high school masonry class somewhere in the state of North Carolina. That's only a small fraction of the students I have across the state. But to grow this day from 165 to over 700 and add all of the things that we had 24 vendors on site. We had Stabila, we had Steel, Hilti, Hydromobile, Caterpillar, Kubota. We had a lot of heavy hitters across the country, and it was great. So 5 years ago, no, six, I'm sorry, 6 years ago, I had the bright idea for the junior bricklayer. So I modeled it similar to the bricklayer 500, where you got a mason and a tender, you give them 20 minutes, and that has grown. We had 11 teams compete in that. So last year, I had another, we call them windshield ideas. It's scary sometimes, but I thought, you know what? Let's do a junior block layer, but let's do a team. So the team event, I mean, you're going to see right here, is 3 students per team. All 3 can hold a trowel. 1 can hold a trowel. 2 can hold a trowel. I don't care. And you're going to work together as a team, such as in the real world, to perform your work and get the job done in an efficient, safe, and quality manner. So these 3 students on each team, I had 11 teams as you see them here competing during 20-minute session, have to lay 36 8-inch block. That's 32 8 by 8 by 16s and 4 halves. So 36 total 8-inch block in 20 minutes. They time them, and you'll see the judges with stopwatches in front of every wall, and the judges are timing them. When the student completes and the captain of the team raises their trowel up, time stops. You get graded on that time. So the quicker you get it done, the better your score, but you also have to hit the quality marks too, and plumb level measurements and so on. So it's a very good event that involves the students working together as a team. They have to set their walls up. They have to put their own mortar out. They have to build their own leads, hang the line. They have to do everything such as they would in the real world on a job site. So I really wanted to display that to the students, how they work together and could achieve more. So that was last year. This year, you just saw, we had 11 teams, and I'm proud to tell you that my winning team there in the middle has a female on it. Unbelievable. She was a rock star. You watch her butter block, lay block, it blows your mind. She's in high school. She could be hired. When that team of 3 completed, they built their wall 36 8-inch block in 13 minutes and 42 seconds and had the least amount of deductions of all the teams, meaning they were more plumb, more level, and their measurements matched better than anybody else and completed it the quickest. So all that being said, we have promoted now the junior block layer. And so you see the logo, and it's been trademarked through Checkoff. We've worked hard through Clutch and the different things that we've done to get this trademark where it can be co-branded across anywhere in the United States. So I had shirts made. I put the junior block layer logo on the back, and then I just used our logo NCMCA on the front left chest. So you can co-brand that. You can put it out there, market it, get the students excited, and that junior block layer team level event has really blown up to where it's very popular. Our instructors tell us that they have students asking on day 1, can I be in the junior block layer? And the instructors have to tell the students, look, you got to prove yourself to me first. And so the instructors have been able to use it in their programs as a program builder meaning that they get the students excited about competing in it. And multiple programs had to have runoffs at the school to see who the top three would be representing them at this competition. So a lot of good things are happening with the junior block layer. We had three in the last 30 days. We've had three junior block layer team events in the United States. We had Pennsylvania, we had ours in North Carolina, and this past weekend, and right outside of Nashville, Tennessee, Tennessee, Dustin Love, he held his first junior block layer. And so that's three states in 30 days that have had a junior block layer team event. So I'm really excited to get this moving across the country. And I want to invite everyone that's on this call to get a junior block layer going in your area. And please give us a call, Robert, myself. We can help you with anything you need. But I would really like to see this promote block laying to the younger generation and get them excited about laying block, which this is a good way to do so. So, a lot of highlights from this year. It was a really, really great Masonry Ed Day. We're already looking forward to next year, securing what we've done this year and building on that. If I had more space, I could have 30 teams of junior block layer. So we got to figure out how to get more space. Uh, so that's the growth that we've been able to see from the induction of Masonry Ed Day to this past year and how it's grown with multiple junior events to get the students involved and excited. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan, for sharing that. And I would encourage anyone who's interested, if you're available next year, when I don't know if you have the date selected already for next year, Ryan, but I would encourage you to come check this out in person. Pictures and videos cannot do it justice. You have to be there to feel the excitement in the air, the vibe. Talk to the industry folks who are there, the vendors, the contractors who are there recruiting the next generation of the workforce. It's just so inspiring and an awesome event. Something I hope that we can replicate in all parts of the country. It looks intimidating. I can tell you, Ryan, you said it started with 130 and you're already over 700. You got to start somewhere. So if you had 20, it's worth the effort to start somewhere. So please
Yes,
reach
sir.
out to Ryan and I. Also, after this is over, I think we can share the outline for the junior block layer. And there's different levels too from day one. Someone has never even seen a trial before, what they can do to prepare. And then there's 3 or 4 levels leading up to this one, the team event there that Ryan has. We want to make sure, how many do we need to get this recognized by Skills USA, Ryan? How many states?
Well, we need to get it in 12 states. So we need to have 12 regional events, and then hopefully we can move it forward. Skills will look at it with 12 to 15 states involved. I don't see no problem in the next 3 years. I feel like we can get the junior block layer series going in that many states, and then probably focus on doing a true junior block layer championship that moves on to a national level.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's very obtainable goal that we could shoot towards. I mean, you've already got 3 states who've done it in the last 30 days. I think we can get 10 more easily once they hear about the excitement it builds within the programs. When I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, one of our goals that it was at the end of 5 years to become self-sustaining in outreach and education. And some of the ways that we're going to be able to do that is through grants. We have the MCAA's hired a grant writing firm to help us seek, identify, and apply for grants, both state and federal, as well as federal earmarks. So that's money allocated towards training programs. Within that, they also seek private foundation grants, which are a little bit different. In some cases, easier, less loopholes to jump through and red tape. But there's lots of opportunities right now for workforce development, career and technical education. It's really a hot topic. Masonry specifically is, trying to tap into these resources so we can enhance our training and expand across the country into different areas where we're currently not at, and also enhance the current training programs that we do have. We want to provide resources for school districts, schools, teachers, and students so we can continue to move forward. Within the Checkoff has a grant team also that's been very helpful. Ann Davis has been really helpful in identifying grants, and she's the one that led us towards our next adventure, which is the Truest Inspire Award. So early on, Connor and I came on board in December with the MCAA. One of the first things we did through the help of the Checkoff is we heard about this grant opportunity. We applied for it. This is the Truist MIT Solve Inspire Award. So our proposal, what they call a solution at Truist, it's called Recasted. That's what we've titled it. And it's an alternative teacher certification program. It's specifically to ease the transition from the fields, from a journeyman mason to the classroom. So you can only do this type of work so long as a mason, and you're physically unable to do it anymore. But I know from my experience and talking with guys who've been around for a while, they're passionate about the trade. They believe in it. They love everything about masonry. They don't want to walk away from it just because they can't physically do it. The grind 5 days a week, 6 days a week anymore. There's still so much knowledge they can share with the next generation. So we're trying to make it easier for them to get into the classroom. There's a lot of obstacles and hurdles that one would face when they want to, even if they wanted to become a teacher. It's intimidating for someone who's been in the industry 30 years or so to tell them, hey, you have to go back to college and get a 4-year degree to be a teacher. No, you don't. There's plenty of people out there. The knowledge they have is much bigger and more vast than going back to college to get a teaching degree. So this is an idea that actually Ryan in North Carolina, again, have already leading the way and pushing this forward. He had the idea to change the way that we do career and technical education, the way we certify teachers specifically in CTE. And it's been adopted in North Carolina. We're going to use that model to try to push for federal adoption of that. Now, each state still will have the ability to approve or disapprove of what they allow for teacher certification. But the good thing about this program is it's flexible and it can be tailored to meet each state's need. Our idea and Ryan's idea initially was that the federal Department of Education recognizes this as an alternative pathway to teacher certification for CTE, that the states will be much more likely to adapt this alternative pathway. So we're really excited about it. This little picture kind of shows the guy coming from the field to the classroom. We like that AI generated photo there. I think it kind of fits the bill perfectly. And the biggest part of this is it's no cost to the tradesperson. So if they're interested in being a teacher, we got to find a way. We're not going to make it harder for them to get into the classroom. We want to make it easier for them to get into the classroom, extend their time within the industry, share their knowledge. And for every teacher that we can get in the classroom, I mean, you're talking about hundreds of students that they can change their life and affect their life and pass on their knowledge to the next generation. And that's how we're going to fill our workforce. The Truist Awards themselves is going to be in a live event on November 12th in Charlotte, North Carolina. Connor and I will be there in person as we're the ones that lead on the grant team. It's going to be hosted. It's a virtual event with an in-person audience. The in-person audience will consist of Truist team members from North Carolina and Atlanta, Georgia. But virtually, everyone's welcome to register and attend. If you have a cell phone right now, you can hold it up, get the QR code here. It'll take you right to the place where you can register to attend. It's only 1 hour. We're asking if you could commit an hour to us and watching that live event. There's a fan vote that occurs during that show. It's worth an additional $75,000. So the grant winner, there's 6 finalists, where one of those finalists will be awarded $250,000. Second place is like $125,000. And then the Fan Choice Award will be an additional $75,000. So within our network, between the Checkoff, MCAA, and their network, we feel like if we get a small percentage of folks to tune in and join to watch those awards and vote, we have a good chance. The money will be put to good use to push our initiative to get more teachers into the classroom. So it's really a full circle moment for us, just because we know we have to have teachers. This is going to help us get teachers. It's going to get more programs started and turn out more students into the workforce. So we're excited about it. Please tune in if you can. If not, we'll keep you posted on that as it plays out, but we're getting really close. Even tomorrow, Connor and I have to sit in front of a live interview with the Truist Advisory Council for 15 minutes of question and answer. So this is going to be the part where they have a chance to ask us questions about our proposal and how we're going to not only start this, but scale it out nationally. And it is going to start with masonry, and it's going to be piloted with masonry, but it's really bigger than that. It's really going to change the way, if successful, that we do career and technical education nationally for all trades. So it'll be a pipeline and a pathway for all trades for their journeymen to get into the classroom to ease that transition there. So really, really excited about that. We did partner up with the Checkoff. They helped us update our top 10 reasons to join the masonry team. These are brochures that we have produced that we take to our expos, our career fairs, our schools. We hand them out to administrators and guidance counselors and students, also contractors, anybody who's interested about growing their workforce, how they identify future tradespeople to come join their team, and then how we get people to sign up for our classroom and our training programs. It's a really nicely put together. You can go to the Checkoff website and to the producer portal and download the digital version of this and have it printed yourself. I think eventually, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, they're going to have a place where you can go ahead and buy them already pre-printed if you want to purchase those. But for free, you can get the digital copy and take a look. This is something Ryan and I want to say was Brian, was it you and Brian that put this together back in the day, the top 10? And now it's just been enhanced a little bit and updated to match, the branding of the Checkoff, the beauty of block. We got new quotes in there, and then the top 10 reasons are really cool. We're going to have them out tomorrow at our expo event. Everybody seems to enjoy panning through and looking at the pictures, reading the comments, and I think it's a good tool. Back to Ryan. Ryan really leads up the Masonry Madness events that occurred during the World of Concrete. The World of Concrete, if you've never been, is a massive, massive event and convention out in Vegas in January, highlighted by the hands-on day out in the lots when they have all the competitions going on. So everything from apprentices to master masons and everything in between. So Ryan, if you want to talk a little bit about what we have upcoming there.
Yes, sir, Robert. So I noticed that Jim O'Connor's on the call, and he's a rock star out there every year. So I'm glad I see Jim O'Connor's name. Sad I can't see his face. But we are having the next Masonry Madness Day. We're in the planning stages of that. We're going to highlight the junior bricklayer like we have in the past couple years. This year, new to the slate is going to be the junior block layer. So we're actually going to highlight the junior block layer team event during Masonry Madness Day. The skills challenge will have 3 levels. It'll have first year, second year, third year apprentices competing. Most of those apprentices, such as the ones from North Carolina, have had to win a state contest to be able to represent us at the national level. So a lot of states have joined in with that. I know Texas is going to do the same thing. Multiple other states, Tennessee just did theirs last week. Their winners will move on to the national Masonry Skills Challenge. So the bricklayer, holy cow, they've got a slate of contestants. I've been watching the regionals this past fall. One more regional to go in Missouri. Wow, I've seen some really strong competitors. The fastest trowel on the block, man, Arizona, they rock us every year. So I told my guys in North Carolina, you got to do better. So we're gonna start a fastest trowel on the block competition and really start promoting that in the Carolinas. So it's just a fun day of hands-on to show the best and skilled craftsmen in our trade across the country. So we're super excited to see that and be a part of that again this year. So I want everybody to put that on your calendar, and please, please come out and support that. So I see Bonnie's on here. Thank goodness, Bonnie. It's too late for me to register, but I'd love to come and be with you Saturday. But glad that Masonry Madness has grown into what it has today, and it highlights us for what we are in the real world, which is craftsmen and true craftsmen all across the country installing masonry. So back to you, Robert.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, I hope you all can make it if you're able. It's really cool events. As we get close to the end of this, we're all wrapping it up. We had to cram a lot of information into about 50 minutes. So I think we did a really good job of staying on track and on time, but we have so much more we'd love to share with you. If you're interested in anything in particular, ask a question here or follow up after. We're happy to have a phone call, a virtual meeting with you to jump in and talk about all the cool things that we're working on. But just some of the highlights of stuff we've talked about today, and maybe something we haven't talked about yet, but we did the MCAA opened our regional office for outreach and education here in Tallahassee, Florida. We've hired our 2 regional directors. You met Connor and Jason earlier, and all this wouldn't be possible if it hadn't been for the work Ryan Shaver's done over the since 1990, since he came into the industry. It's got us to a point where there is even an outreach and education position out there. It wouldn't be a thing if it wasn't for the work that's going on in North Carolina and with Ryan Shaver. So Ryan, I can't thank you enough for all you do. And then we talked about the updated curriculum with NCCER. Be on the lookout for level 3 to come out in the spring of 2026. We're going to continue to have student engagement events. I mean, tomorrow, Connor and I are at one here locally in town. We just came back from North Carolina a couple of weeks ago, and you can find one going on all the time if you just look out. If you want to know what's going on in your area that you might not know, reach out to us. We'll probably try to connect you to some. I know Texas has a lot coming up real soon, and almost every state's pretty active in doing these little events. We've supported the skills competitions and we'll continue to support those. We're leading up to the nationals coming out in the World of Concrete. Hope you join us there. And then the finals awards, if you can join, please join. Throw a vote our way. We need the money so we can continue to push our initiatives forward. Last couple of slides, just some pictures of what the outreach events might look like in different places. That's our little masonry tent there for an MCA, the black one. That's with Masonry Incorporated here in Florida. That's who we're partnering with also tomorrow for the event. The next one was at an equestrian center. It's a huge event through the DOT's Careers and Construction Days in Florida. I think they do that in all parts of the country as well. Several thousand students roll through there. Just different events, hands-on activities that we try to partner with the masonry associations in each state and local contractors to make sure those are successful. And then the competitions, North Carolina does the best job. Everybody's trying to catch up to them. They seem to dominate the competitions when we get on a national level, but it's because of how steep the competition is and locally. For those guys that come out of North Carolina, they've already won more than most any other state participants even been exposed to. So you can see what kind of those look like. And if you hear of a competition in your area, please become involved. Go out, observe, serve as a judge, volunteer, talk to the kids. It inspires them. They like to hear from the industry folks. So thank you for if you're doing that already. And if you want to learn how to do it, reach out to us and we'll get you connected to the right people. And that gets us to the end. There's my email address. I can definitely forward it on to anybody who you don't have here. You probably already have Ryan's phone number and email, but my team, Connor and Jason, we're just a phone call away. Happy to help in any way. So from this point, we have a few more minutes left and we'll take it to question and answer time.
Yes, thank you for that presentation. Everyone that's on the webinar, if you have any questions, please enter them in the Q&A and we can go through and answer anything you may need.
I haven't been following the Q&A since I was doing the slideshow, but if there's anything I missed, is there any questions yet, Aaron?
No questions yet. Quiet group today. No questions, a bad question.
I think they said that Ryan was going to start giving out gift cards to whoever had the best question. That's what I heard on the previous webinar.
Oh, yeah.
That's correct. I've got gift cards or a check, and it's in the mail.
Oh, yep.
We got some good people. I've seen some good names come up. So glad to have everybody on the call today.
It says, where does one get Wallcraft? Connor, you want to jump in there? Are we releasing that right now or is that coming soon?
Wallcraft will be coming soon. It's in the final development stages. Our team in Chicago is fine-tuning the software. But once it does become available, it'll become available through the MCA website and will be available to all members.
Are you speaking of the textbook? Is that what you're asking? If you are, it's through Pearson. I looked yesterday for the link. We could share a link to everyone who's on this webinar, I believe, but it is available through Pearson. If you just type in a Google search, Pearson Masonry 1, it'll be the first thing that pops up. That's what I did. And it's available levels 1 and 2 right now.
And just be sure it's 5th edition when they purchase.
Good point.
They're keeping the 4th edition open because some schools are currently in that 4th edition. So if you're looking for the new revision, it's the 5th edition.
Yep. So Connor, do you know if that's a web-based application or installable?
Yep, it's web-based.
Also, if anyone's interested, I know that they were sending out digital copies of the textbook for review. If your state association or you're just interested in the book, I believe they'll still share a digital version of the NCCER textbook. That way you can look at it and see if it's something that you want to purchase for, in-house training programs or if you want to promote it within your local school district.
Yeah, and Joe just made a good point. I shipped some books to one of his schools up in Virginia. So he made a good point there in his comment.
Yep. Yeah, Joe says the instructor books are only available digitally. You can get student books shipped. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, and Bonnie made a good point through Oasis. So if you're set up through Oasis, that's how you can, purchase. I know NCDPI purchases that way. And then our other states outlying, like Joe, we've been able to help him and get that set up. So we actually set our association up where we can purchase through Pearson, through Oasis. So good point, Bonnie.
All right. I think that may be all the questions we have. We did have one in the Q&A. No questions. It was a very well done webinar and so inspiring to see the work you are all doing. Thank you for sharing this. I will echo that. Thank you so much for all the work you guys are doing for concrete masonry outreach. And thank you everyone for joining us today. We appreciate you taking the time to come to our webinar.
Absolutely. And Aaron, I'm going to leave everybody with this. I thank them for volunteering to have a junior block layer in their state in the next 6 months. It really excites me for them volunteering to do so.
Thanks for having us. And if anybody wants additional information, like I said, reach out to Ryan and I, and we're happy to share, happy to talk about it.
Thank you, everyone.